Hello, welcome to Same Cast, Different Day Podcast. I am Marcel Rowland.
And I am Tina Marie.
So, welcome to the latest episode of Same Cast, Different Day Podcast. But before we get things started, y'all, something happened. Moira! Myra Rose, she's gone, y'all. They don't took Moira from us. You know how many times I've been told I'm so dramatic like her? Like, y'all don't understand. If you've never seen Schitt's Creek, watch the show. It is worth watching. And then the older generation, like Tina, know her from like Home Alone and stuff like that. So, rest in peace to Catherine O'Hare. Not she giving me that
How
look.
did I even catch it straight like that?
And we also lost from Tina's generation, also from the TV shows. He played the son on Sanford the Son. Wilson. Grady Wilson. Grady
He old
Wilson.
enough to be my daddy.
That's not the point. The point is
The point is, he is not from my generation. That man is old enough to be my actual parents' age, but in real life, probably my grandparents' age.
oh. So I don't know how the house look to y'all, but I look very laggy on my side, so I don't know what's going on right now. But
Okay, you look
I just
fine
want
to
to get
me.
okay, so I want to get this thing going. Don't forget to scan our QR code, get our to our website. We'll take you to our links to our merch store and so much more. So make sure y'all scan that QR code in the left hand corner and to head over to our merch store. Okay, so let's talk about government overreach. One of the things that we want with the whole government overreach is y'all ready? The Trump administration again, infringing on the free press, independent journalists. So people do podcasts and who have regular conversations about things that's going on in the news, the media, and everything. On a regular basis, things are being attacked. Um, that's a random question to ask in the middle of a stream, but um, yeah. So, like I was saying, with government overreach, one of the things that we're going to talk about is with the Trump administration, especially when it comes to free press, like people who do podcasts or they go live on TikTok or any other type of social media where they talk about things that's going on within the United States or the world, mostly in our country. And we have the federal government doing their best to try and to basically quiet us and not talk about things that's going on, like the shootings that happened in Minnesota, um, with the two people that was being killed. There were talks about a border patrol agent being shot in Phoenix, Arizona by the cartel. Don't know if that's true, but I'm gonna look more into it. But the more recent thing was when Don Lemon was arrested when he was basically at a protest, it was a pro Trump, I mean, pro ICE protest when they were people that were protesting, and he was basically just reporting, "Hello, how you doing?" He was basically just reporting what was going on, and he was arrested. And Don Lemon was charged. Well, they were trying to charge him with Oh my goodness, where's my note went? So he was charged with conspiracy to violate religious freedoms after filming an anti-ICE protest, immigration protest that interrupted a church service on January 18, 2026, is what they were saying. Now, he was arrested and released the same day over these protests. And, this has been something that has been going on for a while because we even seen Nicki Minaj making statements of that Don Lemon need to be charged. We seen our own federal government talk about how John Lemon needed to be charged. We have our, what's it, Attorney General Pam Bondi going on TV, and the other, what is that lady name who works at the White House, who do the press secretary? She got on TV and she lie every day for Donald Trump. But she had the nerve, we all have the nerve to go on TV and calling people who are standing up for other people's rights. Um, what is the word I'm trying to think of? It's blank in my mind right now, and I'm really upset. Domestic terrorists. They're trying to say these people who were killed, like Alex, who was killed after he was disarmed. By the way, by ICE, he was disarmed by ICE and was still shot and killed in the street. They are call these people domestic terrorists, in which I don't think that's true. I don't see that as a a thing that should be a thing or being called right now. Like, how would you feel if your family members were shot and killed in the street for nothing? Nothing by the government, by the way. I don't think that's something that should be happening. I don't think that is something that's very fair. You guys, for you that are watching, what are your thoughts on people, government? I'm so like out of it right now. Let me get some water. But what are your thoughts on people being shot like Alex and the young lady, other young lady, was it 2 weeks before who were shot by ICE agents? Like, I don't feel like ICE agents should be on the street shooting American citizens. I don't think that they should be, I'm walking down the street minding my own business, and next thing I know, I'm being detained and have to prove my status here in the United States. There was a little boy who was walking home from the corner store, and ICE had stopped and detained him and asked him to show proof of citizenship. Like, I don't know what minor is carrying anything on them to show that they're a U.S. citizen besides a school ID, and that's if they even have a school ID on them. So I don't understand that whatsoever. Tina, you have any thoughts on this?
Um, I feel like that's the part about the child being asked for ID is really stupid because it's not even required by law for somebody like a minor to carry identification for one. I feel like and always have felt like that ICE was out of control ever since they, Donald Trump kind of like unleashed them on America. Like it's just out of control. Um, I feel like um, they're the domestic terrorists, like you said.
Mhm.
And that's just my thought about that. I just feel like somebody need to put an end to it. I feel like um, they're using a body or part of the government to just basically terrorize Americans and specifically people who they think might look like they supposed to be deported.
Thank you for that. So we're not really talking about. So what we're talking about is, well, we're talking about border policy also, but we're just talking about government overreach in general when it comes to people who are considered free press, people who does news, people who are independent journalists who don't work for a major news station. We're talking about government overreach in that way in which the government are trying to silence those people into reporting the news. The people who are going out to Minnesota and reporting and actually giving us real time footage of what's actually happened, other than the propaganda that Trump wants the news people to put out there, who are putting the news out there. We wasn't name one citizen who's deported for being brown. What are we talking about here? We're not talking. You know what? I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there with you. Um, because we're not talking about brown people. We're just talking about ICE agents just in general, whether they're brown. No matter if they're brown, black, white, whatever. We don't think that as American citizens that they should be gunning down American citizens. First of all, and people are, like you said, silencing liars. Like, there's the only person who's getting on lying every day is Donald Trump and his administration. The fact that he has taken control of the polling information in Georgia, where now he's trying to basically rig the midterm elections, to make his people look good because he knows that, for one, that he is going to lose in the midterms, that a lot of these congressmen and women are going to lose their seats come midterm election. So we're not a lot of you are figuring like we're not against people being deported. We are not against people
That
being
is
deported.
hilarious.
It's hilarious. We're saying, like, okay, if you are here illegally, yes, you can be deported. But at the same time, he portrayed to the public that he was going to be deporting, these violent criminals, these sex offenders. These are the people that Donald Trump he was campaigning on, that he was going to be deporting. And now we don't see it happen. You have normal everyday people who are being deported. You got people who's been working for years and living in America is years, and their kids go to school here. Their other kids are born here. You are seeing them being deported, hard-working people. You are seeing people who are working the jobs that lazy Americans don't want to do. Because how many Americans right now is going to go out in a fruit field or a vegetable field or a corn field and pick fruits and vegetables for $3 to $4 an hour? There is not. Show me one American who will do that. Show me. Because I don't believe none of you would do it. Just like the ones in the comments right now. I really don't think you guys will go out there and work in a hot sun and pick fruits and vegetables for $3 to $4 an hour. I know you a lie. First of all, especially with a name like that, I know you lying. You definitely not gonna go out there and work for no $3 to $4 an hour. Because first of all, you can't pay rent, making $3 to $4 an hour. That's why they work for that amount of money. That's why they have so many of them that live in a house together, so they can afford to be able to live. Your point just proves itself. You're not going to go do the work. So, which is why a lot of the farms goes out and they hire these illegals to do the work that you lazy Americans don't want to do. Yes, we're lazy. We're not gonna go out and pick fruits and vegetables and cotton for $3 to $4. Like, come on. Like, I just don't. I
Hell,
don't know.
I'm kind of upset that they agreed to $3 to $4 an hour.
Right. I'm not sure if they're getting $3 to $4 an hour. I'm just saying I know that a lot of them are not. They're making less than minimum wage out there picking fruits and vegetables. Is what I'm saying. So let's continue on with the show because I'm not gonna keep arguing in the comments with people who probably don't even vote. But anyways, so Sonya Massey, if you guys don't know, this was a police officer that killed a young lady and who was sentenced to 20 years in prison. This is the man right here. I believe Tina has more details on the Sonya Massey case because you covered the Sonya Massey case, didn't you? So this is him right here.
So, I believe this is the guy when they went into her house, right? And she was kind of like having kind of like a mental health crisis, right?
I believe so. She was an unarmed black woman who was murdered by Sean Grayson, 30-year-old white male in Springfield, Illinois. Um, yeah.
Okay, so I remember now. So yeah, so I believe she called the police, didn't she? Because she thought somebody was like trying to come into her house, and they got there. It was him and his partner, and they ended up coming in the house. She was like sitting on the couch, kind of like going through her purse or something, and they was talking to her, and she ended up getting up and going to the kitchen. And it was like a pot. I'm assuming, I don't know what, I'm assuming it's like pot of water or something like that. Or something like that. She was gonna make some noodles or something. And he ended up shooting her and killing her.
Yeah, so she called 911 saying that it was possibly a prowler in her house, is what it is described as. And when he responded and found nothing after searching. Moving inside her house, the deputies requested an ID. Massey began searching for it. The situation escalated quickly when Massey removed a pot of boiling water from her stove, like you said, when she was making some food. Grayson asked for its removal. Massey lifted the pot and said twice, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." Grayson screamed that he would fucking shoot, and basically, yeah, he shot her in the face. Well, shot her. So that officer has now received 20 years in jail for the murder of Sonya Massey. Um, you do know that there are people who work in restaurants, right? That still make 3 or 4 to 5 bucks an hour under minimum wage, and they just basically live off of tips. Those are called waiters. So there are people who works for that. Stuff you should know. I voted for Trump 3 times. Um, I don't. Okay, I don't know
What
what.
what is that comment even pertaining to? Like
I don't.
we talking about something totally different, and y'all still stuck on Donald Trump. Ain't nobody talking about Trump right now. Don't nobody get. Nobody cares if you would or would not be working $3 to $4 an hour. I don't care if you think both of us look lazy up here. We done moved on to the next topic. I need you to keep up.
Uh, so I was having a discussion with Tina earlier, and I was talking about because we noticed that some fees went up when we comes to re-registering our vehicles where we live at, and it was like, we have a $41 wheel tax and a $30 wheel tax. And I was like, this is just more of, I feel like our city mismanaging funds, what are public funds. And she was like, well, we are getting a new Milwaukee Public Museum. We are getting a new museum. And she was like, it went towards roads. And I'm like, but we just had to give $100 million to Milwaukee Public Schools who mismanaged their money, and they got rid of a superintendent and still had to pay him out close to $1 million. Then we had to hire an interim superintendent to try to fix what he messed up, which costed the city another almost $2 million some dollars. And then on top of that, we had to hire a new superintendent, and we're giving that person now millions of dollars a year. Also, like it's just we are constantly bankrolling the government's mess ups, and it's starting to get annoying. And like I said, we live in the most populated city within the state that we live in. We live in the most populated city, so the cost of living is constantly going up. And no matter how much money we make, we're going up in pay. We're going up in pay, but yet the cost of living is still going up, and it's not affordable. I have to live in my car. Then I want, and then I want affordable healthcare. Well, we've been allocating for affordable healthcare for a long time. Because, like I said, I work for a very somewhat large, healthcare facility within the state that I live in. It's one of the largest ones here in the state, and yet the health coverage I get through them, it sucks. It like our out of pocket cost is like 50 for a single person is $15,000. If you want to go to every doctor's visit until you reach that to $15,000 is $30 a doctor visit. If you want to go get blood draws, that's about $200 out of pocket. If you need to go get a MRI or CAT scan or something like that, that's $1,200 to $1,300 out of pocket. And see, so for people to break down, so even if you're a person who makes $50,000 a year, after you get through paying taxes and everything like that, that's already about $15,000 gone out of that 50,000 you made that year. And then on top of that, after you pay your rent for that year, that's about another $10,000 gone. And then once you get through paying your utilities for the year and all those kind of things, that's about another $5,000 gone. And then after you get through paying for stuff you need for your house, is just like food and the essentials that you need for your house, that could be a couple of thousand more dollars gone at the end by the end of the year. And then on top of that, we get down to, buying clothes and stuff that you need for personal, that's another no, I don't know how many much people spend on clothes a year. I don't spend a lot of money on clothes a year, but there are some people who spend thousands on clothes a year. So you see, prime example. So at the end of the day, if you're a person who made $50,000, and like I said, I just named off all those expenses, and that's not including paying for childcare and kid things and all that type of stuff. So at the end of the year, after making $50,000, paying for all your basic needs of living, Alexa, do not disturb. After paying for all your basic needs to live off of, which is just food, taxes, clothing, all that, etc., you're left with about $4,000 that you probably spend on yourself for the whole year. And then if say like if you're a person who makes $25,000, after you get through paying for housing, clothing, and all these other kind of things, and you pay for your basic need, and when he settles down to it, a person who makes $25,000 at the end of the year, they would have probably spent less than $500 on themselves. So can you imagine living like that over the course of how many years, and you just living paycheck to paycheck? I live in a red state. My bills run about 3,000 a month. See, exactly. Depending on where you live at, bills are very expensive. So, like for me, I have car payments, so I pay $8,000 a year to drive the vehicle that I drive now. And there are some people who can't afford that. Like I said, it all depends on what kind of bills you have throughout the year. But as you can see, even a person who makes $50,000 a year, you're not really bringing home that much money. You're not really have that much money to for self care, and then they think that people have money to get these health insurance, to pay all this extra money for health insurance, or if you need a therapist or something like that, or you having a mental health crisis. It's not money left over for them for people to be able to do those kind of things, which is sad. I'm behind y'all comments, so um, let me try to get caught up with some of these comments. Somebody said the USA is broke, which is why they're trying to bully other countries into using American dollars to trade with oil. So basically, when a country buys, so say like if Japan wants to buy country from Iraq, what the current way it's supposed to be is that they use U.S. dollars to pay for that oil, and there are some countries who are using different currencies to pay for oil, which can mess up the American economy because our economy really depends on that. So that could be another way that the USA it could be going broke. Wait, I read that one. Your own party replace you with illegals. I don't know what you mean by that, but Tina, you're muted.
I said I ain't never said what party I belong to. So next question.
People are crying. I do agree with that. There's a lot of stuff going on. Oh, they're talking about the comments. Oh, okay. Y'all going back and forth in the comments. Okay, that's why I was a little bit confused. Okay. Somebody asked where do we live. I'm in the state of Wisconsin. It's depending on, and like I said, I live in the largest metro area in the state of Wisconsin, and it is constantly become very if it's getting expensive to live here. Like we're not like New York where it costs like $3,000 a month for a studio apartment, but it's getting up there because like right now, like we like it's crazy because so like the park that we live in, the rest of the state. So like when it comes to like even renewing our license plates every year, which you got to pay for that stupid ass sticker that go on your car. It's the rest of the state pays $85 a year. Here where we live at, it just got increased to $156. And if you have more than one vehicle or specialized plates or anything of that nature, you roughly looking at close to it's somewhere in the 200s now. Um, so crime ridden cities, crime ridden cities can't survive. You know what? They can. I mean, to be honest, like I keep telling people, like some people be like, "Oh, well, this such and such don't happen here." Here's the thing: crime, no matter where you live, crime is going to happen. There are people that are out here hungry. There are people who are out here suffering. There are people who are just out here desperate to survive, and they're going to do anything possible to survive. I'm sorry, that's just the way how things is. Until we live in an economy that's not based on capitalism, that's just the way how things are going to be here in America. We are living on an economy that's based on that. There's nothing that we can do at that point. Oh my god, y'all have a lot of comments going on here that I can't keep up with. What are the major majority of the demographics? It does the majority of the crimes. I don't know what you're referring to. Like the demographic. I don't have a list of demographics of crimes here in the state that I live in. To be honest, my studio went to 1,300. Couldn't justify it. So there are so There's a small suburban city, just south of here that's about 15, not even 15 minutes. Yeah, about 15 minutes from where I live at. And there is a studio apartment there that they are advertising that because it has a trail on the side of the apartment complex that is they want $1,500, and that's just for a studio apartment. It not like I said, it's not worth it. What system is better than capitalism? I don't know. You all are smart. Figure it out. I'm not an economist. I don't know. I don't know what's better than the capitalism, but until we figure out a way to solve it, where we got big corporations profiting off of people's pain, we don't have any. There's no way to fix it. I don't know. It's just the way that it needs to be fixed. Like I said, I don't know. Uh, I don't know what system is better than capitalism. Like I said, I don't believe in communism either because I don't know somebody was going to bring. So, I just feel like there's just like I said, the world just need a restart. The country needs a restart. Everybody just need a restart with things that's been going on lately. And like I said, it's gonna be some work. It's gonna take some compromising. I know people are like, oh, like the compromise. Like there are some people still stuck in the 50s. There are still people that's have this notion that women shouldn't have the right to vote, that women shouldn't have the right to work. There are people who think that we should go back to a time where black people had to go into the back of the building or had to ride in the back of the bus. There are people out there who still think of things, and until we get rid of racism, which is a really big problem here in the US, then
That
nothing is
ain't
never
never gonna happen. Racism
right.
is always going to exist.
Especially with some of the comments I seen, like as soon as we got off the air on the last episode, there was a man who hopped right in our comments as soon as we released one of our short clips and said that it looked like we come from a family who don't have a father and HIV. I don't have HIV. She don't have HIV. We both grew up in a home with our father. Our parents were married. We come from a two-family home, a two-parent household. Like, that's what I'm saying, it's stereotypes like that, what do you I don't come from a broken family. None of my siblings are in jail. Like we all have jobs and are living. We're not out here doing anything illegally. So for that person to just automatically jump in the comments like, "Oh, you guys come from a broken home," like, no, that's not just because we're black. Don't mean we come from a broken home. Not all black people come from broken homes. Like I said, and then at this end of the day, at least we not down there, making babies with our cousins like some of them people. I'm just saying. We not doing that. We not. Like I said, I came from a very responsible line of people. Like my mother's parents. They were been married, two-parent household. Before them, married, two-parent household. I come from a line of married two-parent households. And I don't know why is that so hard for people to wrap around their heads that black people come from two-parent households. Like just um yes, we do need to respect each other's strengths to recognize differences. That is true. No, they just said that because you're gay, but it's not the 80s and you don't look like you have AIDS whatsoever. The only thing I have is fat. I'm fat. that's, a, that's about the only thing I have to offer them. Other than that, I'm employed. I have a good job. I have a nice retirement account already with nice amount of money in there. I make over with my new pay. I make over 50 grand plus a year now. So, awesome. Good for me. But yes, can we please stop the stereotyping though? Because like I said, like I come from a generation of two-parent households. One thing my mama said was if somebody was to ask her where her father's kids were, she could just point to the man that's next to her and be like, he right there. I'm just saying. So can we please stop with the stereotypes? And on top of that, some of the strongest people have come from single parent households because you don't know what it's like for that single mother who is raising kids on her own. And some people act like, oh, it's choice. It's not by choice that they did it on their own. Some of them just make mistakes in people that they uh do relations with. They make mistakes. It happens, but they take responsibility and take care of their children. And that's all that matters. As long as their children is being taken care of, that's all that matters. And by the way, because I know single parents who didn't I know some people say, oh, but they relived all the system, whatever. I know a single parent who put herself through college. She didn't have to rely on the system. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. How you doing? She has judged people more on how they behave and their attitudes. You guys seem well spoken. It doesn't matter your color. Thank you for that. Um, I don't know what CH stands for though. Can you tell me what CH stands for? So I'm a little, you know, you are doing well, but every see, yes. So I can't say that because and I can tell people like one of the things that people be like, I've noticed because people like because you're black, you're gonna go along with it, and I'm like, no, that's not true. So for years at the place, there was point in time where I worked at the place that I worked at where majority of the people in management were white, and we went through this whole process where they're like, "Oh, we need to integrate and start bringing in, black people." I'm like, I don't think that's such a good idea. Um, so they went through this whole phase of where they started like the person who was like the top person of the department. They brought him in. He was a black guy, and then there were some other people that's like under him that they brought in. It was black, and it wasn't great. It wasn't a great time. Like it wasn't. And a lot of the people who were, black workers, they thought because the management was more black that things are going to be better. And for me personally, it wasn't. And I keep telling people I can recognize when stuff is bad, when stuff is good and stuff is bad. And in one of those that situation, it was not a good thing. I like during that time period, I absolutely hated going to work. It was very depressing. And when they finally got that management team out and they brought in some new management team, I can say over time things have gotten better. There are still some things they need to work on, but things have gotten better. And I'm not just saying that just to be like, you know, to make wait, I don't know if Tina can see the comments, but just the random comment while I'm in the thing like Orange Man bad. Like what how did who was thinking? I mean he is bad, but I wasn't expecting for that to pop up. Um there was okay. 75% of children who come from single mother households end up in prison. All sides.
Can you cite your source for that, please?
I mean, because like I said, my friends that has come from single parent households, they either went to college or they're doing some type of things where they haven't been in jail. I guess I say I don't know about 75% of single parent kids who come from single parent households go to prison. I don't think that's a number or an accurate number.
I just need them to cite their source so we can take a look at the facts.
So yeah, so there are some like I said, there are a lot of black families with mothers in the household, but I feel like when people think of single parents households, they always think of a mother. And like I said, there are some fathers that are out there who are single parents, and by the way, are doing a damn good job at doing it. And I feel like those fathers don't get a lot of credit for that at all. Unfortunately, I think it's going to take a huge event to remind the society what humanity is supposed to be. Yes. So, and here's the crazy part. I keep telling people, like, the world would be so much like, first of all, I don't understand how us as Americans, we are the only country that's not a third world country that's that don't have universal health care. And there are countries where they're like, hey, we pay, 30-40% in taxes, or there's 30% of our check that goes out in taxes. But at the end of the day, they don't have to pay to go to college. They don't have to pay for childcare. They don't have to pay for, healthcare and all these other kind of things. So yes, you taking a high percentage of my payout, but yeah, I can go to school for free. Like I can go to university and earn a degree if I can make more money for free. I can send my child to school. I mean to childcare, and I can continue to go to work and don't have to worry about paying $500 a week out of pocket. And if you got more than one kid, that 500 could turn into 1,000. So $1,000 a week per kid to go towards childcare, I think is crazy. And like I said, us as society, we have a lot of things to fix. And like I said, it's a lot. Oh, okay, okay. Y'all are like blowing up these comments. You are absolutely right, but stereotypes come because of what people see. Yes, that is what a lot of people see, but I wonder what a lot of people are seeing is what they see on TV. Because, like I said, there are a lot of TV has is evolved in a lot of stereotypes and stuff like that. So, that's why I kind of don't watch TV. But like I said, Morgan Freeman said it was the best. It's the best. You want to stop racism, stop talking about it. So here's the thing: if we stop talking about it, that's not going to do anything. It still needs to be talked about because you have certain groups that's trying to erase things that happen that try to erase things that happen. Like there are, a certain group of people, I believe it's either Texas or Florida, one of them states where the leaders wanted to teach the kids that slavery was for the benefit of black people. And like I said, like a lot of our ancestors, we didn't go seek out Europeans to come bring us to America. We didn't seek them out. We were somewhere minding our own business, and here come these people from Europe or Europe and want to colonize a whole nother country. And now y'all don't put us on a boat and brought us over here and enslaved us and made it and said it's for the benefit of us. We didn't ask to come here. We didn't. And it's crazy because as time went on, and when slavery, well, even though we were freed in 1867, but at the same time we still wasn't freed. But either way it go, as years go on, a lot of household inventions that a lot of racist people depend on were invented by black people. Just want to throw that out there. I live in Canada. We have free healthcare, but it's not all great. It's not great at all. So I don't know can you explain how it's not great? Like, do you guys have like long waits to like see specialists and doctors and things like that? Because like even here, so like here, even though you have health insurance and everything and you have your doctor, it'd be times where your doctor, you try to call it and get in and see your doctor. And they're like, here, can you come in about 8 weeks? I'm like, I don't have 8 weeks to wait. I'm in pain now. Like, I don't have 8 weeks to wait. There are some people like it's one of the things that's hard to see is a dermatologist. A dermatologist can be booked up for a whole year. And if it's something that you need done or something to take care of, or your doctor like, hey, I'm gonna refer you to a dermatologist, you know, you know, you're gonna have to wait a year to see that specialist. 4% of men are single fathers. I I don't have kids, so I don't know how much of that is true, but you can let us know where you got your source from. We'll discuss that. Arzone, just you know what? I'm gonna skip your comment. There's not a lot of blacks in my county, thank God. Probably because we don't want to be there because y'all racist. That's why we don't go in places we're not welcome.
What country is that?
A lot less crime. You do realize we pay for illegals. How's it? What do you mean by we pay for illegals? Because I don't understand how you figuring out we pay for illegals because illegals don't get health care. They don't get food stamps. They can't get they can't get the food stamps. They can't get free child care. Uh, but it's crazy that you speak of that because there are some illegals who do go to work and still manage to get a paycheck and they pay taxes but don't benefit from any things that me and you would get, as taxpayers. So explain to me, how are we paying for them? Just let me know. How come all white countries have the least crime? Explain.
Can you give me a list of those all white countries? Y'all just be on here saying stuff and don't be coming with these facts. What are these all white countries? You asking us a question and it's a very general question. All white countries, I need a list.
I'm a single dad black dad. You know what? Quincy Jones. Wait, I don't know if I can. Thank you for stepping up. And like I said, there are some fathers who won't step up. Like I said, all men are not deadbeat. But then at the same time, I keep telling people w- we gotta break that teenage pregnancy stuff. We gotta break it. Like that's still a very bad, and it's not just a black thing. It's not. Oh, it's everybody thing. To be honest, because when you have generations of teenage pregnancy, the responsibilities just drops. They people just don't want to be responsible. For the ones who do step up and be responsible, like I said, I commend you on that and being a great dad and standing up and stepping up to doing what you're supposed to be doing. Like I said, a lot of people don't do it. 'Cause like I said, I know somebody right now who is the same age as me, which I'm about to be 34, and they already have a 24-year-old or 23-year-old. Sorry, they have a 23-year-old. Like I said, we got to break them cycles. um, studies and surveys of prisoners. BGS. Wait, what? Okay, where are you getting this from, though? Because we have like you say, you keep trying to stereotype and things like, but we have like I said, single mom who has one child that's going into a very an engineering school, and the other one who is in trade school and doing very well in life right now. So just saying, anyone that doesn't like Donald Trump should read his book to comprehend him better. First of all, Donald Trump ain't writing no book. I'm just gonna say that right. I don't even. I'm this man. I don't even know if this man can use a typewriter. So I'm just gonna be honest with that comment right there. I don't want to get to know him better because he's an idiot. Do this man even have a high school diploma? And for some man who hate immigrants so much, his parents were migrated here, by the way. Um, but the man was an American icon for most of his life till the Dems ran their smear campaign on him. Okay, so I wouldn't call him an American icon. Because be honest, I feel like to be considered an American icon, I believe more than one racial group has to love you, and I'm pretty sure nobody outside of a certain racial group cared about Donald Trump. I'm just gonna. I don't know if that's just my personal opinion. Not saying it's a true fact. Some people like to mix of words. I'm just saying. Um, no, it's not. Oh, I need some more water. No, it's what I see in life, but I've never judged a person by that. You might have 99 out of 100 people doing a certain thing, but I won't judge because of that one person, which is a good thing. Uh, it's not a stereotype. It's FBI facts. Wait, what? Who? Oh, I guess they were talking about when you asked about the all white countries. I still don't know no country that has just all white people.
Yeah, I'm still trying to. I was watching the names of the countries pop up in comments, and I'm still trying to figure out like why anybody would think that only white people live in these countries. That's really interesting to think that somebody would think that.
300 years ago. Get over it. Okay? So you want to talk about how slavery was 300 years ago, and we need to get over it. But the thing is, you guys keep finding new ways to enslave people. That's what you don't understand. Because after we were freed, from being slaves. You guys refuse to let us get an education. You refuse to let us read. You refuse to let us learn the basic skills we need to survive as American citizens. And then after that, we didn't still didn't have the rights to vote. You like we didn't have the guaranteed right to vote until 1965. That's still very recent, in case you didn't know. It's crazy that we still have to pass laws in 2025 to guarantee that, equality, to make sure we have the same chances as everybody else. You guys wouldn't let us go to college, so we built our own colleges. We built our own schools. Matter of fact, the half the music that you listen to were created by black people. We built a culture. We came here and did not, you guys, we were stripped of our culture. We were stripped of every little identity we had. Wherever we came from in Africa, we were stripped of our whole entire identities. And since it's from that time since slavery started until now, we have created, especially as black Americans, because everybody make it seem like we have it so easy as black African Americans. We don't. We have forged and created our own cultures and our own little worlds to exist in because of the hate that's towards us. And it's crazy because even, you know, there are, black people that's in Africa who look at African Americans like us. So I don't really consider myself African American because I wasn't born in Africa and moved to America because that's what I think African American is. But anyway, they look at us like, oh, you guys are privileged. Guys have all these advantages at your hand. Like, no, we don't. Like, we didn't come over here and get free school. There are some of you that come over here and get free school. And I'm just talking about the black ones. Because there are some who come from Arabic countries and India and Europe and Germany and all these other places. They come over here and they have stuff handed to them. Here you go. Or how about you could come over here to America and start a business and don't have to pay taxes for 10 years on that business. We don't have those luxuries. We have to fight for the rights to even be able to get a loan to buy a house. We were denied housing in certain areas. We had to forge our every step of the way to get to what we got now. We had to forge our own selves. We had to create our own identities. Every step, every decade, every generation. Every generation is still fighting just to be on the same playing field as the rest of everybody else. And you talking about slavery was 300 years ago, get over it. We're still living in it. We still are. It's called corporate America, capitalism. We're still living in slavery to this day and age. Like some of you could just walk in and be like, get handed a job right on the spot. Then there's some people like, oh, this person was hired because they're black. Blah 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 blah. You know how hard that black person had to work to get that job? I have a cousin who went to school and got multiple. They told her, if you get this promote, go get this degree, I'll give you a promotion. She goes to school, do what it takes to get that promotion. Then they tell her, you know what, you need to go and get this. She went back to school 5 times to get certified and get, certificates to do this and then that. And then when it came down to giving her that position that she waited damn near 10 years to get, that she kept working toward, they move her into other positions. But when she finally had no other place but to move into that position that she worked so hard to get, they tell her to kept telling her to go back to school and get certified in this and get a diploma in this. Guess what? When it came down to her getting that position, they told her she was overqualified. The American system was not made for black people. It's not. The Constitution was not made with black people in mind. It wasn't, because we were not free people when the Constitution was made. So don't make it seem like the American society was set up for black people, and don't tell us, oh, you need to get over slavery when we're still fighting just to be able to meet y'all halfway. Half or majority of you are born 40 steps ahead of us already. We're the negative. There are a lot of black people who are born in the negative and still trying to find ways to survive. Oh God, there's a lot of Trump comments going on in here. Oh, I'm way
Yeah,
behind.
I just been reading and laughing at the comments.
Tell it to Obama. I keep telling people, like everybody keep thinking, oh, he black. Obama was supposed to go in and make everything better for black people. Here's the thing: in case you didn't know, Obama could be in office. You could have a black president in office or a Democratic president in office and all these other kind of things. You can have that in office. You can have a Republican president. But that president only has control unless, the House and, you know, Congress and the Senate, if those are majority Republicans or Democrats, then yes, it's easier for them to get bills passed and benefit, people. When you have a Republican president and the majority of the House and Congress is Democrat, it's going to be a lot hard for a lot of stuff for them to get hard for a lot of stuff to get passed. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for stuff to get passed and get pushed through. And
Peoples or people?
Oh God. I don't even remember that whole comment just threw me off. I don't even remember what I was talking about. But like I said, a president can have you can have a sitting president, and if the House and the Senate don't control, the same is not a majority controlled by the president that's in office by by the party, then it's gonna be harder for that a lot of stuff to pass. When Obama was in office, majority of our House and Senate was Republican. So there's no way to it was very hard for why is y'all asking me about my sexuality? Y'all are really, really, into that. If you really want to know, I am strictly dickly. If you want to know. There you go. Um, but yeah. Like I said, it's a lot harder for those presidents to get things passed.
Woo, child, y'all are so angry in these comments. What is going on? Who pissed in your coffee? I'm trying to figure it out. What happened? It's just a podcast, y'all. It's okay. It's okay for people to have opinions. It's okay, y'all. Like, is y'all attacking each other, or do y'all think that what's happening? Do we need a nap?
They probably do. So let's just switch things to I love weed. What is going on? Wait. Okay, wait. Y'all
That person right there is mellowed out.
okay, very mellowed out. Oh my god, y'all are funny. Oh my god. So I'm gonna switch things over to a more happier note, and we're gonna go into our videos of the week to try to make things a little bit more chipper around here. So, as you guys know, in Wisconsin, we had about almost 2 weeks of where we were in the negatives. And so, when I saw this video, y'all, I said, finally, finally. So, I'm going to play the video for y'all. So, here we go.
All right, y'all. It's about to be over. They finally got that heifer. That snow slinging, cold breeze bringing, North Antarctic weather having heifer. I've been waiting on them to lock this wench up. She done got on my last nerve over here torturing the whole damn country. Don't nobody want that shit. Stop letting it go. Keep it to your damn self. Didn't you build a castle somewhere? Didn't you have your own kingdom? Huh? Why you gotta try and take over the whole damn country? We over here trying to warm up, and every time we get a little bit of sunlight, here your ass come letting it go here, letting it go there. Go sit down. Lock her ass up. Lock her up, throw away the key, don't let her out no time soon.
So, y'all, I was so happy. Let me tell y'all. So, I don't know if you go check out my TikTok, but um, I had went well Friday. What yesterday? I went out yesterday. So yesterday was my first day out. I was like, cause Thursday was like my first day off in the last 6 days. I put in 50 hours, almost 50 hours this week. So I had my day off on Thursday. I'm like, I'm going to spend the whole day in the house because for like the last 8 days, I had to go outside, and then like with the wind chill, it's like -30, -15 with the wind chill. So Friday, I finally go outside because I have a friend of mine. She's from Jamaica, and she makes these really good food. So I went to her house to go pick up some food and stuff. And as I'm driving back to my house, so I thought they locked up Elsa. So as I'm driving back to my house, there was a freaking snowstorm, and it was so bad. So if you're driving through the intersection, you can't see the next intersection in front of you. Like, it was bad, and I was so mad. Like, why? Why? Like, I was so over this whole snow thing. I was so over. Are y'all still?
Don't let the comments distract you again.
Wait,
Oh,
it's so random. Like, I don't know when. How do we get back on? What? It's 35 in Florida, but I'm not built for it. So, like I say, like, we had a stretch where it was like negative 30s and negative 20s for like days and days and days. MAGA equals major assholes. Are y'all arguing? Wait, because there was one comment. I don't know where it was at. I don't know who it was, and it just caught me so off guard. It was like they met their wife when they were gay. Like, when did you stop being gay? Like, ah. So I've been to Jamaica. I had a very, very, very nice time when I was in Jamaica. So she's from Jamaica and now live here, but she would go back to Jamaica and get like spices and stuff, and then she bring it back here and she makes some really bomb food. So yeah, I was very happy about that. Who need to be shut up and go? I am at home. I'm in my nice home office. I don't home office slash studio. I don't know what you're talking about. So let's get into this next video because after you seen all this snow and stuff that happened, and then I saw this, and then I was like, yeah. Made me so happy. If I looked out of my window and it's a snowstorm and there's somebody walking down the street singing, happy about having some pizza. Oh my god, what are y'all talking about? I'm trying to have happy moments and y'all talking about why did blacks sell their own people? I don't know what blacks sold their own people. I don't know why do white people do and it's the same thing as you white people doing what they call it, the arranged marriages? Same thing. Y'all selling y'all daughters and sons to go marry somebody else for money or to advance y'all businesses. I don't get it. It's wrong to identify as gay if I'm mostly gay. It's not wrong to identify as gray. I identify as what? Okay, y'all know what? We're gonna head into our final thoughts because y'all are wilding in these comments. So, and I don't want y'all to get angry, and be like fight with each other and stuff like that. We like can like have discussions without getting angry and stuff like that. So let's head into final. Oh,
it's just a troll. That's it. Under the bridge. Oh, it's time for me to do final thoughts. Okay, so final thoughts. I will say this: I really enjoy interacting with you guys a lot more today on the podcast. So I hope you come back and join us for some more really good discussions. As far as what's going on in politics, I mean, it's always going to be something going on in politics, right? So every day we wake up, it's going to be something new for discussion. And I bring you peace and love. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
okay. So my final thoughts is it's okay to identify as gay. It's okay to have differences. It's okay to have these discussions, but can we have these discussions without people being rude towards each other and attacking each other? And if come with your facts. That's all I'm saying. Because there was some of you who were saying some stuff in here that was like totally off the wall. Like, just come with the facts. And once again, about the whole government overreach thing. So, I just feel like we the freedom of press, like the press has the right to go out and do investigation. They have the right to go out and try to figure out what's going on. They have the right to try to figure out and let the American people know when the government is lying to them and all these other kind of things. And that's the thing that I like about social media and the way how things has gone lately, because there are things that's going on in other states and counties, other states here in the U.S. within the U.S. that I would have never known that was going on unless I would have went on like TikTok, since TikTok has been you can see a lot of the people like they're recording the day-to-day things. You can see what's happening, like the things in Minnesota, and there's like our local news here, they're not really showing us a lot of things that's going on. So I am all for free press. I'm all for independent journalists. Don Lemon should have never been arrested for being out there, being a free press, and just covering a protest ceremony. It should have never happened in the first place. Um, and then that's my final thought. He is so definitely trolling for no reason. ICE just got funding until 2029. That is so great that they got their funding. So, with that being said, thank you all for tuning in to this episode of St. Cast Different Day podcast. We will be back. Actually, probably have to do another episode on a Saturday or earlier in the week because Super
It's
Bowl
my
Sunday is
birthday
next
on
weekend, and
Wednesday.
it's her birthday. His birthday is Wednesday. The Super Bowl Sunday is that following weekend on that Sunday, which is when we normally do this show on Sunday. But it looks like we might have to push it to a Saturday or another date. So make sure you guys stay tuned because there'll be something that go up, a post that go up to let you guys know when we go live next. And thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Same Cast Different Day podcast. And we'll see you all on the next one. God bless ICE, like that person said.